is advised.
Hey everyone, welcome to the discussion for Run, Fight, or Die. I'm going to say this right off the bat. This is very much not a game for me.
Yeah.
I hate games like this. I'm going to try and keep a level head because last time we played a game that was not for me. I was just very much upset. But, no, this game is pure randomness through and through. And we've talked about that with many other games. I just don't see a point in games that are like this, whenever it's just roll dice, see what happens, draw cards, see what happens, and it's in a competitive nature. It's not fun for me whenever it's competitive, because just like we actually were playing a game earlier today, where that same situation, but it was on your end,
Right.
And it's like, it's just not fun. I don't understand why they make games where it's just like you waste time to just do nothing of true importance, which I guess is just gaming in general, but just whenever there's just no thought behind it. There's really no decision making. It's just, oh man, look what I got, and oh, look what you don't get. Like, you drew no negative cards the entire game. All your followers were great, except the one who was barely even a problem. Every mutant card that you drew was good. Like, every location...
I added stuff to my sub 30
But every follower you got was good. Every location you got was good. Every event you got... Granted, you had the ability to cycle through events, so the events were only ever going to be good. Whereas on my end, it's just pure struggle the entire time. And it's like, oh, that guy's good, but he's not worth any points when it comes down to points at the end of the game anyway. And these ongoing effects really only affect me, and there's nothing I can do about that, and the game's over before it even starts. I mean, so when I don't want to hear it in the comments whenever people throw a fit. It's the best fucking zombie game ever. I masturbate to Run, Fight, or Die. Yeah, I was gonna say, it's just, I've said it. Anyone who's a longtime fan of the channel knows that I do not like games that are just pure random. So, I'm going to defer it over to you because you do like this game, and
Yes.
so that's why you're here.
This is a wonderful filler game, and I know you don't like that term. But this has solo and cooperative modes as well. So, I mean, that's something we haven't tried, so it may be different. Whenever I'm playing this solo, I finish a game in like 20 minutes. I mean, so I can just throw it down, go, whatever, you know. So the randomness means nothing to me in a game like this, just because.
You know, it's funny though. I'm gonna jump in real quick.
Yeah.
It's funny that 20 minutes feels like no time at all when it comes to a game, but it's like if you apply that time to anything else,
I know.
It's like, oh, you want to drive 20 minutes to my house? Ooh, no, that's 20 minutes,
right.
You know. And it's not you, but it's it's interesting that people have that dynamic whenever it's like, oh, I can play a game in 30 minutes. It's like, yeah, but 30 minutes is a long time for other things.
Right. And, well, and that's one of the things, like, you know, I have to really consider when I play. You know, I don't play anything but solo games unless I'm coming up here with you, or if I have the chance to go to Joplin.
Right.
So having these games like this, that's simple really to set up. I mean, you just throw down a board, go with it, and play, you know, and it has it's like, and you didn't like King of Tokyo either, because this is King of Tokyo.
Sure.
Really, I mean, with the exception, there's a little more, like, some differences, but the same chunky dice.
Yeah, I think I said the same thing about King of Tokyo. It was like, I guess I get it, why people would like it, but you can play... King of Tokyo it had a different feel to it than this one. Because that one was all dice, and you had the power-ups that I believe were available.
And you can buy cards too.
You could see what you can buy, which has a little bit more decision because you have options. That it's like, oh, if I get this one, that means I'm not getting this one. Here, there is none of that.
Right.
It is just, oh, you know, fuck me, I guess, or yay, haha. Right. Or, oh man, because you even asked me during the run-through, how mad would you be if I killed you?
Well, because I didn't read that last line. I thought I was just going to end the game.
And I was sitting here, and as soon as nothing bad was happening to you, which was about probably 25, 30 minutes into the game, I pretty much had already checked out. Because I'm just like, okay, well, the mutant does nothing. There's no reason to really go for him. The cards just kind of prolong his life just because he's a problem. And it's like, well, that's random too. And it's fuck me every draw, so it's the same feeling you had when we were playing X-Wing earlier.
Yeah.
It's just like, what's the point? Granted, the difference with that one was an hour and 45
Yeah,
minutes.
it just takes longer.
This is still 45 minutes though.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. I mean, it was 2 players,
Yeah.
you know, and I think that's even what it says. It literally says 30 to 60 minutes. So
yeah.
I mean, it is it's advertised, you know, and I mean it's not a super great game by any means, but it's good at what it's supposed to do, you know. I mean, this is one game that I can actually still convince my family to try to play, you know, just because it's super simple and you just come out and you do it. There is super hard mode when you add the Horde deck and you add all this other stuff. It makes it to where you're just completely even swarmed more.
Right.
I don't even know how many fucking zombies are on. There's 15 on
But
there. I had 30 zombies right there, and I know I cleared them out because I rolled 3 books, but that was
right. It's just, and that's it. It's like anything that I could do in a competitive sense to try and even gain an edge was just immediately negated by, I have a card that's worth 2 points. I'm just gonna get rid of it to clear a zone.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I made that same argument in Dwellings of Eldervale. I don't like cards where you just run through the deck and lucky me, lucky me, lucky me.
Right.
Same thing with Unfair. It's not a. I mean, granted, funny enough, all those games are competitive. It's just because it's not fun when you're the only one getting dicked, and everyone else is just like, oh yay, I'm having a great time. It's like, well, yeah, it's all good for you. Like, you get to enjoy this as a filler for 20 minutes. Oh man, I had great for 20 minutes. Where one person's just like,
right.
I'm miserable for 20 minutes. I have to sit through it.
You know, and that's it. The 20 minutes is the important part.
Yeah.
If it's not great for people, it's just 20 minutes. They don't play another game.
Yeah.
I mean, I've sat through a very, very miserable game of Game of Thrones, the board game, where it sucked about 30 minutes in, and I sit there for another 2 hours.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, it's like...
Yeah, I will say it is less bitter for a short game. But it comes down to different types of also personalities. I very much value my time when I look back and I'm like, man, it's like if I watched a 2-hour movie and I'm like, that fucking sucked, you know, I wasted 2 hours here. It's like, man, we could have spent 45 minutes playing a scenario of Gloomhaven, you know. You think of what you could have done instead of like, it's like, man, how did that fucking, okay, well, especially when you're on a time crunch, like sometimes we are when you come up to play. So, I don't know. It does, let's talk about the game, because I always kind of, the game is interesting in terms of like its theming, because it is a Yahtzee style dice game. I kind of like the idea of how you use your dice, because it is pretty thematic whenever you move them away. It's like, yeah, you're just moving them back a zone, but it is you thematically running away from them. You know, you have a bat that you can kill 2 zombies if they're up on you, so even though there's a 1 in 6 chance of you getting that. The dice aren't unfair, I don't think.
Right.
Like, it's not, most of them are good. Even the event die is relatively good. I think it's 50-50 things.
There's not, and the bad stuff isn't horribly bad either. I mean, you take 1 wound.
Yeah.
Or,
I mean, there is stuff I could have done. I would have much cared, or I would have liked it a little bit more if there weren't so many just immediate game-ending things.
mm-hmm.
Because what I could have done on my turn is I had an ability where I could have swapped, I could have traded followers with you.
Right.
And it's like, oh, well, I didn't do that. I mean, granted, I don't think it would have mattered. You had 6 points, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 points. If I took your 4, I'd have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Right.
I would have had 10 to 13 is a lot better, though, than 5 to 13, you know. Actually, I had 1 more. But, I don't know. It's just things like that where an immediate victory, because like, and I obviously use the brawler ability a lot more, but I honestly think you go health all the way.
Yeah.
Just because with the fact that there is an event die or icon that just gives you a wound is, I also think, kind of annoying. But also the radiation thing, where it's like, oh, okay, well, there's more ones.
Well, you can heal. There's stuff in
there are stuff that does let you heal.
And different odds. I mean, there's ways.
I think the only way to fully 3 book icons. Oh no, 2 book icons let you heal 1 as well.
Right, and then there's like there's stuff in here as well. Medical supplies that lets you heal. Let's see. You get the heal wound there. You put 3 tokens on it. You can get heal 3 times or whatever. There's several of those in here.
Right.
You know, it's just there's ways. It's just, and you also have to think. I mean, again, this goes towards the randomness. I mean, this is a fairly maybe 25 card deck,
Mm-hmm.
and there's one card that would do
Right. Well, even I think when you die,
You know.
it immediately ends.
it
as
does.
well.
But I'm just meaning like this, the way this game ended.
Sure.
Like this version,
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
a deck of them.
Yeah.
It was more likely to end this way because that's what I was shooting for that time.
Mm-hmm.
Until I decided I need to get rid of that zone 2 mess. But
Right.
But yeah,
I also never really felt like that the dice combo bonus was ever worth going for. I feel like I wish that the abilities were something that were a little bit more powerful that made you want to risk rolling. Like, the only reason I ever got his was by happenstance, that I happened to, I
Right.
rolled 3 zombies
Right.
and a bat. Great, I just need an icon. I wish there was something where it's like, ugh, do I want to try
Right.
and go for that because it's really good versus just this is okay.
right. Now, mind you, everything we're saying is based on this first edition. They came out with the Reloaded for a reason. I don't know what rules
true.
they changed or
True.
what they've done different. I don't know. I just don't
Yeah,
like the art of that one as well, and I didn't want to
Yeah.
rebuy a game I had.
I have no idea.
Um,
I have no idea either.
So it may totally
Yeah.
fix some of these deals. So.
Yeah, and I think another complaint that would probably ease the randomness is if you play it solo and you enjoy it solo more than competitive. I would say that it would probably feel less personal if there were more players. Because it's not so much, oh, lucky me, I'm the only one getting good stuff,
Yeah.
and you're my only other target. It's, oh, we're playing with 3,
Right.
4, I'd
It just
probably say.
drags with more. That's what I found.
Right.
You know, when we
Right.
play with 4 at the house, it's like because it's nothing simultaneous. So it's
Exactly.
like you roll, then you're setting for 3 more people
Yeah.
to go through and move zombies around.
And then your
this
turn
and
comes.
that.
I mean, but granted, your
You
turns
know.
go by so
They
quick.
do. It's just kind of. Plus, I mean, look what happened to us. We ran out of fucking zombies. Like we were having to pull. Because that was another thing I was going to bring up. Like, there's versions of this when you do horde mode
Mm-hmm.
and different stuff. Like, there's runners.
Yeah.
They move 2 spaces. There's crawlers that do different
Yeah.
stuff. There's all these different zombies that have
Mhm.
different abilities as well.
Yeah. I think if
that-
you are going to play with more people, you add those.
Well, and those yeah, and those just happen. That would have changed our game.
Mhm.
But the problem I've done with that when I've played with that way is because they don't really look much different.
Oh, yeah.
It's like when
This
you get
game
that cluster,
really
like
doesn't need menus.
they almost needed like colorful cardboard standees
Yeah.
that really showed the differences of the
Yeah.
deals.
I would have taken tokens,
Yeah.
honestly. Like, tokens still with art, because you can get some art on tokens that delineate what's different. You have this, kind of like the Dead of Winter, when you run out of standees, you have the tokens. That would have made it much more manageable. It wouldn't have looked as appealing, but it was getting clunky, and then, yeah, you're right, in just a 2-player game, you run out. Now, granted, that is probably because there were less people killing zombies and less
Right.
maneuvering around, so I might go out on that, and I haven't tried it, but based off what we played, I would probably say this would be better, like, what does it play up to? 4? I think it'd be a decent 4-player game.
It's not bad.
Because your turns are so quick, so you're not quite just watching the clock, but you also, if something good is happening, the chances of it happening to at least 2 other people and bad to it feels less personal.
And what I've noticed in those counts too, I made a comment about it dragging on a little bit,
Mhm.
but then you also have the extreme versions of the opposite. Like we've played a 4-player game where somebody's died really fast.
Oh, yeah.
Because when one person dies, the game is over for
That's
everybody.
true. Yeah.
And it kind of
Yeah.
is. I don't know what the Reloaded changed. I don't. It could have fixed a lot of stuff.
I don't know. I mean, I don't mind randomness in games. It's definitely, it eases a lot of it if it's cooperative, because, oh, hey, it sucks for everyone, or it's good
Right.
for everyone. But I definitely want my randomness tied into something where there is decision making, and in here, there's very little. I mean, there's kind of a risk of, oh, do I really, use my reroll? But I don't know. It's just these kind of games aren't for me. But I wanted to give this one another shot because you had brought it up during our top 100. I think it was the top 100.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it fits the zombie theme pretty well, and I don't know, it's weird that it is competitive as well. That is almost like the victory point thing is just kind of odd
Yeah.
that they would do that. It's just like, it'd be cool if this was cooperative, where it's like, oh, I got a gun, oh, you might die, I'm going to shoot over in your zone,
Mhm.
things like that. that other games of this ilk have done before.
Right. Because there's a whole deck that goes with the cooperative stuff. I can't remember which deck it was, but there's a cooperative deck that you go through. That has like you get personal goal, so it's cooperative, but yet you also have almost the dead of winter kind of thing. There's a bunch of different ways to play it out of the box. I mean, there's like 5 expansions that have come and stuff. So this is the way I played it the most. I've done solo too, but yeah, this ends up doing okay and running pretty smooth.
Alrighty, so on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm gonna start because I think mine's definitely gonna be lower than yours. I'm gonna give it a 5. I think it's an average game. I feel like it would be better, at least for me, if there was more people than just the oh fuck you, you know, for no real reason other than I'm your only opponent, you know. It does a decent job with the zombie theme. I don't mind the Yahtzee style. It's just there's no choices. I just think the competitive nature is a little weird, so I'm just gonna give it a 5. It's an average game for me.
I think I have it on BGG as a 7.
7?
Yeah, just because it gets played, because it's just a simple setup, simple put away, you know. Yeah, I mean you know I put it higher than King of Tokyo.
Okay.
As far as my rating.
Yeah.
I can't remember if it is on the top 100 or not. But
I don't remember.
But
I do know I'd rather play King of Tokyo than this though.
Really?
Yeah.
I like this. The zombie stuff is what puts it over.
Because King of Tokyo also had some decisions of whether or not you want to be greedy and stay in the city and try and gather points or jump out. So I just felt like there weren't a lot of decisions here. Alright, so that's our thoughts on Run, Fight, or Die. Let us know what you think of the game in the comments below. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you. Hey everyone, thank you for watching, and I really hope that you enjoyed the video. If you would like to see more of my content, go ahead and click that subscribe button and the bell to be notified whenever I upload any new content. If you feel like supporting the channel, you can go ahead and click that Patreon link to be taken to my Patreon, and any help is truly appreciated. Other than that, stick around for any other run-throughs or reviews or cool top 10s or whatever I feel like putting on. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you.